It's time for business news with Richard Southern. A prominent Toronto street could soon be renamed, but that will come at a significant cost. Richard.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting story. It's in the news today. Again, Maliha, you know, there was this a big 14,000 strong petition to rename Dundas, and Mayor Tory seemingly maybe signaled his support for that today. He said, listen, this Mr. Dundas, you know, an 18th century Scottish politician, didn't really have a big connection to Toronto. You know, the big issue, activists point out, is that he had a hand in delaying the abolition of slavery in the British Empire. So that's why they want the street name changed. But, you know, from a business standpoint, Maliha, it will cost quite a chunk of change. The city of Toronto thinks it will hurt taxpayers to the tune of $5.1 to $6.3 million. And that's because 730 street signs will have to be changed. 2 subway stops would have to be renamed. 525 bike share locations. There's green pea lots, a public library bearing the name of Dundas, highway signage as well. Oh, and also 60 businesses along Dundas Street have the word Dundas in their name. The city proposing, Maliha, can have a phase changeover, but certainly there's a big cost not only to taxpayers, but to those 60 businesses perhaps as well.
Absolutely. So it's not like it could happen overnight.
Exactly. It's certainly something to keep watching as they move through this process.
For sure. Now, something else we want to keep watching is the Montreal Canadiens are playing for the Stanley Cup, but snagging a seat won't be easy or cheap.
If you're a Habs fan, are you a Habs fan, Maliha?
Emma, do I watch hockey, Richard? That's the real question. And the answer is no. Sorry.
And no, you are not a Habs fan, and we like that. We like that. But you know what? They are everywhere. There are Habs fans among us, and perhaps they want to go see their team in the finals, and if they do, they're going to have to pay for it. Game 3. Friday night in Montreal, cheapest ticket you can buy on the secondary market now, $4,400. Oh, wow. The most expensive, more than $2,300, Maliha, meaning if you want to go with someone, it could cost you as much as $47,000 for a pair of seats. Oh. You know, if you are, it's not cheap. Listen, if you're a diehard Habs fan, it actually might be cheaper to travel to Tampa. That's the team they're playing. You could actually snag a ticket for tonight's game in Tampa at just over $500 Canadian. So that's how much people want to see the Habs. It's also the case, Maliha, they're letting fewer people in the stadium in Montreal than they are in Tampa.
Richard, how much would you pay to watch a game?
If my Blue Jays, I did pay a good chunk of change when the Jays were in the playoffs, like in 2015. So I am willing to pay to see the teams I love. The Habs are not one of them, though, Maliha.
I'd pay $50.
I don't think that's going to even get you a beer, quite frankly, these days, Maliha. So you might have to up that a little bit.
So I'm not making it. I'm not making it. Now let's talk about something else. Toronto City Council is weighing a move that could provide a boost to housing supply.
A vacant housing tax. We're learning a bit more about this today, in that a proposal to institute this tax will go before council in 2 weeks' time, and they're going to sort of look at it and vote on it, depending what council thinks and depending on the outcome of public consultations that could happen. An empty housing tax could go into effect January 1st. It's not clear what form it would take, but the city of Toronto, looking at some other jurisdictions that have done this, thinks it could bring in as much as $66 million a year. The end goal, though, is to, you know, get the skyrocketing home prices under control here. The city actually doesn't know how many homes are sitting empty. Some have suggested a vacancy rate, though, that could be as high as 13%. There was actually one guy using a light detecting device in the condo where a lot of the condos are downtown, to look at if they're emitting lights to sort of gauge how many people are home. And he came up with that idea that maybe there's 13% sitting empty, Maliha. So wow, could be a big tax to pay there.